Yeah.
If you are just joining us, two young men apparently dressed in long black trench coats opened fire about an hour and a half ago at a high school just outside of Denver in Littleton, Colorado.
We want to join James again on the phone. James is inside the school. James, we understand you tried to call the police and couldn't get through, so we're working on trying to hook you up with the police, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. We hear you've heard more gunshots?
Yeah, in fact, I got a little TV watching you guys right now.
Okay.
Hoping that I can see what's going on outside.
Well, you'll see.
Trying to be a little bit quiet so they can't hear me from inside.
Definitely.
You'll see what we see for sure. What are you hearing right now?
Heard a couple gunshots, and then people were running up and down the hall a little bit. And I guess I don't know what happened outside. I just heard them yelling, telling them to get down. They're inside the cafeteria. I hear stuff being thrown around. I'm just staying underneath this desk. I'm upstairs. I don't know if they know I'm up here. I'm just glad they don't.
Okay.
I'm just staying upstairs for right now. I just hope they don't know.
Don't tell us where you are.
Yeah, don't.
This is breaking news coverage from MSNBC of a school shooting in Littleton.
And at one point, for example, I was doing a live shot. I had to climb up on top of our live truck. They had a ladder on the side, and I had to climb up to the top of the live truck, and I actually had to stand on top of the truck and do several live reports because it gave you a better view of the parking lot and the school. And little memorials had popped up, teenagers bringing flowers and teddy bears and leaving notes and crying, so they wanted the shot of that big scene. And so, yeah, I was up on top of a live truck. At first, the headlines were really just, the senseless shooting, 13 murdered, then the two shooters committed suicide. So that was the initial reporting, and then it turned to the why and who survived and why did this happen and how can we make sense of this. He shielded her when the shooting started in one of the rooms, and and that's the reason that people like to talk about this, not like, but it's a catharsis for them, you know what I mean? She wanted to thank her friend and tell people that there were positive stories to come out of this horrible tragedy and that there were heroes. People really wanted to talk about the heroes. So she was one who really wanted to make sure people knew that her friend saved her life. understand there were so many stories coming out, so many rumors, so much misinformation that we then learned was wrong.
Staying off lockers, they describe these suspects as students of the school. Can you confirm for us that you are looking into that possibility?
We're looking into it, but we have no idea who the shooters are as of yet.
Two students we spoke with on the telephone described them as members of the Trenchcoat Mafia, which is a group, they just say, are a group of disenfranchised kids that have threatened revenge in the past for kids making fun of them. Have you heard that theory?
No, have not. Not up here.
And can you give us any more information on the kinds of weapons you think these suspects may have?
We have no idea. Only thing we know is automatic weapons.
Automatic weapons.
That's all we know of right now.
Yeah.
I was stunned. I mean, everybody was just stunned, overwhelmed, saddened, and then as the days progressed, people were angry. You know, how could these kids do this? What was so wrong in their life and their minds that they could be so violent against innocent kids at their own high school? So then people became angry and, you know, called them cowards for killing themselves because they would never see justice. You know, so there was a lot of anger that slowly built. Most common were that these kids were outcasts. They hated the jocks and the athletes. That they were bullied. That they were mercilessly, you know, abused and teased and bullied. And we know now we know that's not true.
Just filled with smoke, and I heard gunshots all over. And the two guys who were the Trenchcoat Mafia came into the library and were just shooting everyone that they could, anyone that they can, you know.
And I just heard something today where Eric had said, do not blame my parents, my brothers, my friends. This is all me. I hate everybody, and I love it. And that was, I really found that interesting, because so many people who do shoot people or turn into murderers blame their parents or blame their families. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes this case even sadder and crazier. It seems like those parents maybe tried to get at least Harris help. Were involved in these violent video games who hated the world. So maybe it would have added more perspective, but it actually makes me more confused. Because had they been bullied or had these athletes been horrible to them, in a twisted way you could almost understand it more. You never excuse it, but you could almost understand the motive more.
Yeah.
But journals made it, to me, make me more confused. Columbine was the first and the biggest and the most sensational, meaning, that was in the news for weeks. Sadly, now when the school shooting happened, it's big news for a day or two, maybe 3, but that was so big and so out of unusual for this country. It was the first time that many kids, and it was just, I can't emphasize enough how horrible it was. And that's the positive I take from this. I really do, that what they did was so awful, but that they did not break that school. They did not break that community. They went on in the face of such a tragedy.